Hi everybody, and today I'm going to be your substitute teacher in What If? What happens if we get sick? Do you know what happens? Well, today I'm going to tell you about it. First of all, let's start off with the basics. You get sick, right? And then you simply feel tired. You get dizzy all around. And then you feel sleepy. You're tired. That is when things in your body, proteins and chemicals in your body start to react, and and they will and then they will eat away your muscles. So whenever you get sick, all that muscle you worked really hard for disappears, sacrifices to keep you alive. Now let's move on to the next one. I'm gonna talk about two types of dojos. First of all is a nature dojo. Nature dojo is to fight real diseases, which means that if you're in a nature dojo, you have to deal with diseases. You have to use swords, knives, and all that kind of stuff to defeat the diseases. That will leave a bruise or a cut or something. Next is a vaccine dojo. A vaccine dojo is when you fight dummies. A vaccine dojo only makes a really tiny small scar, so it doesn't really matter. Fight dummies, also called as fight unreal diseases. For example, you will train, right? You have a bunch of chemical dummies there, and then you put your hands up, and then poof, 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 and you defeat the dummy. Now let's move on to what disease an old person and a young person might have that cause them to die. The old person might suffer and die from influenza, which is a long type of chemical that just goes around our body, eating up our immune system. Next is a young person. They will probably die from Corona-19, also called as COVID-19. Now let's move on with what happens if you were running, right? You love running, and then fall. You bruise your arm, and then your muscles will start to get to work. Run, fall. Then your things will get to work. First of all, because the tissue is all banged up, they have to replace it with a scar. A scar is basically like a place where it influences everything. And sometimes there are these little cement-like lines called claustrophils that usually contain the most indestructible and destructible chemicals in your body. And the other parts that are not covered with that one are filled with new cells. For example, this is your immune system, okay? These are the holes. Now the first hole is filled with the claustrophil. The second hole is also filled with the claustrophil. But the third hole isn't. And it is covered by a sticky sort of cement patch that patches up the immune system. Now let's move on with the resistance line. What is a resistance line, by the way? For example, if an old person can deal with the flu or Corona-19, then they are at resistance 4. But if a child can stand up to Corona-19 or the Black Death, then they're resistance 6. And if they can stand up to any disease, they are resistance 10. I'm like here. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if they can't deal with any disease at all, they're at resistance 1, which means they can only deal with small things such as the flu, the cough, or the diarrhea. Something like that. Now let's move on. What happens if you get sick? Particles in your body will send out a message called a photon. Not a proton, a photon. And it will call up body fighters. I'm just gonna tell them as if they were humans with the body of a shield. But in real, they're just particles. They, like crazy chimps with machine guns, they open up and open fire. They shoot out chemicals which make our body hot. And that heat is really disturbing to invaders. Now I will tell you exactly what happens if you're in the nature dojo or the vaccine dojo. First of all, the vaccine dojo. The vaccine will let in the vaccine will let in fake diseases, which will last a day or two before they dissolve into nothing. And if your body responds yes, then it will fight them off like this. For example, your hands. You punch and pound them until all the dummies die, just like as the fake invaders die. And here is the nature dojo. The nature dojo is when you fight real diseases, such as if you put up your hands and slap bang into a real coronavirus. That's how you deal with a nature dojo. So that's all I can talk about what happens if you get sick. And see you next time with the next topic. Topic 2, week 4, month 8. Bye!